Hello friends, in today's session we are going to discuss the case of Mr. X versus Mr. Y. First, let us briefly understand this case. In this case, during the process of donating blood, the appellant was found to be HIV positive. Without his consent, the hospital made this information public, which led to him facing criticism and social ostracism. The appellant filed a complaint against the hospital in the National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, but the commission dismissed it. Appealing the Supreme Court, the appellant claimed that the hospital violated his right to privacy and confidentiality. The Supreme Court ruled that the right to privacy could be limited in light of public interest and the confidentiality could be breached if it served public interest. The court suspended the appellant's right to marry and stated that if he married while suffering from AIDS, he would be punishable under section 269 and 270 of the IPC. The court also stated that the Hippocratic Oath is not applicable in law because it legal lacks enforceability. Let us now study this case in detail. Answer: Mr. X appellant versus Mr. Y respondent. Reference: AIR 2002 Delhi 217. Case facts. First, the appellant had to donate blood to someone else and therefore a sample was taken from him by the hospital. Second, the appellant was found to be HIV positive. 3. Due to the disclosure of the fact that the appellant was HIV positive without his explicit consent by the hospital authorities, the appellant's proposal to marry Ms. A, which was previously accepted, was cancelled. 4. Furthermore, the appellant was severely criticized and ostracized by the community to the extent that he had to leave his workplace and residence and move to a new city. 5. The appellant approached the National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission for damages due to the breach of confidentiality by the hospital authorities, which violated medical ethics and the obligation to keep the information confidential. 6. However, the commission rejected the complaint on the grounds that the appellant could seek remedy in a civil court. 7. The appellant then approached the Supreme Court arguing that the duty of confidentiality, which is part of the duty of care in the medical profession, included the right of the patient not to disclose anything that came to doctor's knowledge. 8. The appellant argued that the respondent was liable to pay damages for violating the duty and the appellant's right to privacy. Issue before the Supreme Court. First, whether the respondent was guilty of violating the right to privacy guaranteed under Article 21 of the Constitution. Second, whether the respondent was guilty of violating the duty of maintain confidentiality under medical ethics. Supreme Court's decision. First, on the first issue, the court observed that in situations where there is a conflict between the appellant's fundamental right to privacy and the fundamental right of Ms. A to be informed about any threat to her life or health, in such situations the right to be informed would override the appellant's right to privacy. Therefore, the court did not find the respondents guilty on the first count. Second, on the second issue, the court observed that the duty to maintain confidentiality in each doctor-patient relationship is not absolute, and this duty can be breached where there is a public interest. Therefore, when public interest demands, confidentiality can be disclosed. Based on this reasoning, the court did not find the respondents guilty on the second count either. 3. The court further stated that the appellant's right to marriage would be suspended until the appellant received complete treatment for the terrible disease. The court based this decision on various laws that give the right of divorce to a spouse if one suffers from communicable disease like AIDS. 4. The court stated that if the appellant decided to marry while suffering from such a terrible disease, he would be liable under section 269 and 270 of the IPC. 5th, the court observed that AIDS is the result of the uncontrolled sexual impulses. Such impulses can afflict and devastate anyone regardless of their social status. If they are not disciplined, the court cannot assist such a person in achieving their goal. 6th, the court also stated that the Hippocratic oath taken by medical professionals when entering the profession does not apply in the court of law as it lacks enforceable authority. Please watch full video, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.